Today we're discussing delegates. And delegates are basically lists of methods or lists of functions. They're very similar to what was called coroutines in the old days, in that they cause several things to happen when they're called. And they're also very similar to vectors, which are pointers to functions in C++, and routing tables, which are tables of pointers to functions. So there's a lot of history involved in the concept of delegates, although there are no pointers in C#, so you won't actually see pointer implementation here. And one thing you need to remember about delegates is that all functions that are added to delegates must have the same signature. And basically what a signature is the return type and the number of types of parameters in the function. So you can't have one be a void return type and one be an int return type, and one have two parameters and the other only have one parameter, or one have a string parameter and the other have a float parameter. The signatures have to be the same in order to add them to delegates. And the first method added to a delegate is added when it's instantiated. And probably it's simplest to start to look at some code now. Basically, in order to run this code, you just need a form with one button. And if we look at the code behind the form, we're creating a class called delegate list, and DL. That's the standard instantiation of a class. And then we're calling dl.showDelegates, which is a method within the class. And if you look at the delegate list class, at the top we see the delegate defined. And basically the delegate defines the signature of the functions that are able to add to it. So all functions that get added to this delegate have a void return type, and they have one parameter that's of the string type. And if we look down below, we have two real methods. And you see both methods have a void return type and a string parameter. So in the method we actually call in the function for the form, show delegates, you see we define, or we instantiate the delegate. And you instantiate a delegate very similar to instantiating a class. You say the delegate name, which is vert methods, and then we give the object we're creating on the delegate the name VM, and then we say new vert methods. But now what we add to the parameter is in fact a method. So real method 1 is the name of a method. We don't need the parentheses for the method, because really we're creating a reference to the method. We're not calling the method directly. We're creating a list of methods. So as you see, we add the first method when we instantiate the delegate, and then all other methods, and you could have a large number of methods, we add to the object with the plus equal operator. So the second real method, we say VM plus equals real method 2. And then we actually call the delegate much like calling a standard method, where we say VM and then we pass whatever parameters are defined in all the what's called subscribing methods, or real methods listed in the delegate. So all methods will get called via this mechanism, and they'll all get past this same string from the virtual to the real level of abstraction. So enough general talking. When we actually run this, each of these real methods should be called, and each of them should create a message box, which displays the message we're passing, and also has a different title The first one has a title, Real Method 1, and the second one has a title, Real Method 2. So you can see it's not the same method being called every time. So let's go up to our form and actually run this by clicking on the button. Oh, we have to compile and run it first. I'm trying to run from the IDE. Okay, let's click on the button in the form, and you see the first dialog box gets called, which is the first subscribing method to the delegate. And you see it says Real Method 1 in the title, and it has a string we pass to all subscribing methods for the delegate, which is from the virtual to the real level of abstraction. We click OK, and now the second message box gets called, which has a title Real Method 2, and once again has the same string passed to it. Well, I hope you understand delegates, because by themselves they're not as important as what's based on them. And one of the things that's based on them is events, which events are essentially delegates. And it's safe to say that events are at the very heart of how Windows applications in general and C# Windows applications specifically function. So understanding delegates is really at the heart of things. Let's see if we covered all the points here. I think so. I'll select everything. With any luck, we'll select everything. There we go. And mark it as done. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. And don't forget to subscribe.